How you doing, sir?
Just fine, thank you. And you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. So I'm actually excited today. We're going to kind of do a free flow talk and just see where it goes. We know, of course, that as you think you are. Let's talk about that. We tell
Yeah.
people each week.
It says what you allow yourself to think about, that's what you are. I mean, there it is. See, we start right off with giving them the bottom line, didn't we?
We did. Matter of fact, we just shut everything down and go home.
You know something? I'm gonna tell you this. It took me a couple of years to actually get that one point. You see, oh, I heard it. And I was agreeing with it. Oh yes, I believe it. I believe it. But you see, I didn't believe it. I only knew about it. See, that don't work. That's not the full signal. That's not the full code. It says, as you think you are, that's what you're doing, that's what you're being, that's what you're having. And if you'll keep it that simple, you can remember it. And that's what it's all about. It's about remembrance, isn't it? Didn't he? If he
It
left
did.
me one, he left you one. Because he don't play no favorites. He's no respecter of persons. Are your works and are your good deeds and all of that. That's all. That's just what you're doing. But are you doing what you're doing, or are you doing what someone else is telling you to do? See, even though what they're telling you might be nice and it'd be okay, but you see, we have the responsibility to to discern what we're hearing. See, not just take it because it's banging on your ear, but because you want to understand it, because you want to know what you're doing. You can see people today. Look, all these guys that come along and talk people into committing suicide by the numbers. I mean, come on, what is this? See, because you're allowing them to choose how you think. They may have information and it may be good information, but it's up to you to discern what you're hearing. Even what we're telling you, we're here just as witnesses. We're not here as an example, I can assure you. Yes, you just smile at too. But if you're just listening to what you're hearing and do so for yourself, so you'll see so. Was that sound about right?
I think so. No, you actually, no, you were fine. You were telling them that it's as you think you do. And the thing is, I think that the problem is you've made it too simple. People can't believe it's that simple.
Yeah, well, hey, yeah, that's been the whole problem all along. Someone says, "You want me to do what? Talk to God?" Well, yeah, he invited you. I mean, and how do you know he invited you? Well, just go in the closet and be quiet for a while and find out. That's all you had to do, wasn't it?
It is.
I mean, he's made the invitation. So on his side of the invitation, he's already there wondering, where are you? I mean, where are you? What are you thinking feelingly about? What are you thinking about? Is it lovely and a good report? Wonderful. Keep it up. Spread it out. But if it's not, stop it, because it's your life. It's what you're doing to yourself. You understand, we're told that all denial is self-denial. God's not denying you anything because he gave you choose this day. I mean, that sounds to me wide open. Choose, choose wisely. And what you really come down to choosing, the one thing that seems to always evade you is that, Lord, choose for me. He has. He gave you choose this thing. He chose for you. But what are you choosing? See, if you don't like what you're choosing, then why don't you check it out and choose differently for a while and see what happens. That's all there is to doing it, isn't it?
It is. I have a question.
Yeah.
I know that you didn't come from a religious background, and many people that I talk to, this entity we call God, they have a problem with connecting to. How did you connect? Because, like I said, I know that you weren't a religious person when you started listening and going to Neville's talks. What connected you with this source that we call God?
I wanted to be successful at something. That's all. I was just looking for more things. That's what I was looking for. How to get things that you want. But all you have to do is stop wanting it. You'll understand what that means when you do it. Look, if you know what you want, stop wanting it and start doing it. Because until you start doing it, it doesn't exist. See, the minute you choose to do it, it exists. Because creation's already finished. You're calling it forth, see, but you're calling it forth from within. See, this is a psychological drama. As within, so without. And you can't miss it as long as you're growing. In other words, as long as you're getting the information you need to think feelingly as you to think for your own benefit. But see, people are not doing that. They're suffering at the moment, and that's what has their attention. So they keep repeating the suffering. And I even know those who, when you're talking to them, they're already planning all that's going to be wrong tomorrow, today. See, and you tell them, do you not realize you're thinking ahead of your evidence you're experiencing? And they say, well, what does that mean? Well, when you find out, that'll be the secret of how to cause desired change. You think so?
I do. I'm going back to my question because I think that I've been a Christian for a long time and you've been doing this thing for about 40 years. There was a time that you weren't a religious, spiritual man. Something connected you with the source. And the reason why I'm going to this arena here is because there's a whole bunch of people that don't know the entity we call God. What happened? Was there a moment or something that happened that all of a sudden the light bulb went on in your head and you realized that there was a God?
So the question is,
The question is, when did you realize that God existed for you? Because, like I said, I know you weren't a religious man
oh
prior
yeah,
to that.
well, yeah, actually, it comes on pretty slowly. I
Okay,
mean, I mean, you get little things, but
thank you.
but then it's recognizing that the little things weren't something you did. It's something you thought about or thought from, even if it's just a small thing. Because see, the thing of it is, you're never complimenting yourself when you get something right. You're only bad mouthing yourself when you get it wrong. And you think that that's some kind of courageous something. It's really stupid. I mean, that's what it really is. That you're not taking credit for what you do right, and you're always bad mouthing yourself for what you're doing wrong. Oh yeah, I know I should be there. Well, right, yeah, well, if you should be, see, then that means you knew. You can't. Look, you're the temple of the living God. Understand that this body thing is where all three of you are together. Jesus said it. I and my Father are one, even as you and I are one. So he's right there with you. Why would he say physician, heal thyself. I mean, to me, I'm no doctor, so I don't. He wouldn't be telling me that. So he was actually talking to Jesus. Heal yourself. See, arouse thyself, O Lord. Why sleepeth thou? That the Lord is asleep in you. He thinks he's you, and he gave you his power to choose this day. And actually, that is what you're doing. You are choosing this day. And you hopefully you're choosing, you know what you're choosing. And the only way you do that is you just have to listen to your own self-talk. I mean, you listen to other people all the time. Why can't you listen to yourself? Because you're on all the time. In other words, you're going all the time. But are you approving of what you're thinking about all the time? Or do you even know? See, that's what this whole thing is about, is knowing that you're on all the time. Every word must be accounted for. Well, that's really, if you take that one, think about it, that's really a biggie. That every word is to be accounted for. See, you don't get away with nothing. You really don't. If you're experiencing it, then you brought it about. See, because it's as within, so without. And if you're experiencing it on the without, then you did it in here first. And all you have to do is just sit and think about it, because we're not telling you that we found anything supernatural or anything. We're telling you the way it was meant to be. That we were going. See, we're not here. We weren't just left alone. You were told, choose this day, were you not? Well, then choose somebody with you. He says, "I'm with you all." God says, "I am with you always," but you're not aware of me. You behold me not, but I suffer with you. If you're sitting in a wheelchair, he's sitting in a wheelchair with you, and he's wondering, well, why doesn't he accept what I'm trying to give him? You're told, just ask. In fact, we're told you receive not because you ask not, or you're asking amiss. And that asking amiss is really very simple. It's just that you're asking for what you don't want because you're getting what you think you should get. That means somewhere in here you're guilty of all sorts of things. And actually, it says none are worthy. So get over it. It's done. But you're told not to think on such things. So in other words, let it go and move on. See, it says choose this day, and it's always this day. See, so that means every day you have an opportunity to change better, and that's all you're really doing anyway. You're of one set of mind, and during the day you pick up some idea or something, so you're a little bit more the next day. And if you do the same on down the line or on down the line, maybe in a few 100,000 years you'll get there. Or you can just turn and just give yourself up. See, that's what it is. He's just waiting on you to give up. And you will eventually say, oh Lord, help me, help me, help me. And he says, hey, I'm right here. What do you want? See, but you never really know what you want. How can he help you if you don't know what you want? How can he help you and give you what he told you to choose this day? And how can you choose it if you don't know what you want? Have you actually really thought about what you really want? Not what people fantasize about things, but I mean what you really want. That it could just change right now to be okay. Well, it's worthy to think about it, isn't it? And then if you think about it often enough, you'll start thinking from it. It's not a slippery slope, though. I mean, you kind of build up your tolerance for your stupidity. And I had a great tolerance for it, obviously, because I allowed a lot of it. But yeah, you'd say, well, that's all in the past now. But you have to leave it there. Let's see, you don't, usually you don't leave anything in the past. You pack it all with you. We're all hoarders. If you open this up in there, you'd find enough junk in there to keep busy several trucks. And it's time to clean house. And I should say that because my wife says, look at your room. I go, well, yeah. Out in the hall. No, no, that's why I don't let her in here often. She'd start moving things around and dusting things. She says, you should dust this place. It's just so dusty. Just, I go, but the dust don't hurt nothing. I never see it move on its own or anything, so it's not alive. Yeah. But if you were in it, you'd give a life to it. And that's what people do. People give life to things they don't want. Well, if you're thinking about it and you're experiencing it, can't you follow the dots there from thinking before to what you're experiencing now? I mean, if you can connect those dots, that's the secret. That's the secret, isn't that the secret?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's see, people read scripture as secular history. You see, and that was for them and those there then, because they only understood big battles and power of might from the king or dictator or whatever it was. They never considered that God's power is right here with you. As a matter of fact, he gave it to you when he said, choose this day. I mean, and he knew you'd screw it up. I mean, well, that's why he sent Jesus. Now, Jesus was the teacher, but he said, now I must go, because if I don't go, then the comforter can't come upon you. That's the remembrancer. A remembrancer, to bring to your remembrance, meaning you already knew it, but you forgot it, you gave it up to become man. And then he gave man the power to choose this day. And that's what he's doing. And you can see what he's done. Some things are okay, some things are not okay, and some things are totally out of the park. That's all. But you do have a choice. First person, present tense choice. Don't need to tell anyone what you're doing or why or nothing. As a matter of fact, in the beginning, I would suggest you don't tell anybody. They're crazy. And actually, that's where you're starting off, really. And you put yourself in this position because of what you think and what other people think that get your attention long enough that it becomes, see, what has your attention has your life. I mean, right there. I mean, a statement, one little statement on scripture, what has your attention has your life. What else do you need to know? What are you paying attention to? See? If you're building on something that's not lovely because you're thinking about it all the time, you're building. Subconscious mind makes no choice as to what you send in as a model of your world of experiencing, but produces it. right down to the details, produces it. And you're living it every day. Where'd it come from? People say, why me? Why this? Why now? Well, shut up for a while and listen to what you're saying to yourself, and you'll figure out why this, why now. As within, so without. It's a psychological drama. It's a play of first person. What is it? It's God's dream. And then he gave you dream the dream. And you're dreaming the dream. And if it's become a nightmare, well, if you can't choose better than a nightmare, well, okay, good luck with that. Because they see the thing of it is that it grows. You know, uh, if you think only on things that are lovely, oh well, think on things that are lovely and of good report, and that's what you really are focused on. That's what has your attention. Well, then you have it. You have it. It says that's it. I granted. Your request was granted. In fact, they all are. You just don't claim them, and that's what praying is, isn't it? You're there
Absolutely.
claiming it. You're claiming the good that God has offered you. You're there saying, "Thank you, Father." That's all Jesus said. But there were times when he prayed, but he only did that to tell those that were around him that you know what you're asking. You're not telling God he knows what you have need of even before you ask. But do you know what you're asking for? See, that's where the rub comes in. Do you know? See, you may be saying one thing with your mouth, but that voice behind the voice, and he's always there because that's ego, and he doesn't mind if your life is a mess because you see that gives him pretty much control, and he doesn't like it when you're doing things or saying things that doesn't promote him. So he'll help you dream up nightmares, and he's good at that because I mean that's his whole existence anyway, is to give you a nightmare. He loves it. He really loves. See, even evil knows about loving something. It's a play. You got a part, but did you choose it or did someone choose it for you? In most cases, it's chosen for you because you're conditioned to the ongoing drama when you're dropped off, born, and maybe you didn't get the best of parents, and even those who really did get good parents, they still walked away, and they said today kids are just walking away from the family. Yeah, and I've experienced some of that. They're on their own. Yeah, they're on their way. The thing of it is, though, is that what it is that they choose to believe they'll be delivered into. So they'll know really quickly, wow, maybe mom and dad weren't all that ding dong. Maybe they did have a good point here or there. And we do, because old age does, what hurts you, you really remember. But what gives you joy, you remember too. But that's not what you're usually thinking on. You're thinking on what hurt you, see. And then so you get more hurt, then you got more to complain about, and you complain, and then you get more to complain about. You see, everything it produces after its own kind. And if all you're producing is comments of it's just nonsense, you're creating your own world right out of your own mouth. And And the talking to yourself is usually a little different than what you're saying out loud. So, and then there's a voice behind the voice. So you really stack it up against yourself. And all you have to do is just let go and let God. That's it. It's that, and that's what he says. Let go, let God. Why wouldn't you let go of it? If it's troubling you, let go of it. Oh, yeah, every time I talk, it just reminds me of all those stupid years that it was right here in front of me. I couldn't see it. Every movement I made was telling me I'm thinking ahead of my evidence, but I never tied the two together. So not being able to tie it together, I missed a great offer. Choose this day. And but actually you didn't lose it. You're just not using it wisely. Yeah. And you are choosing because he told you choose this day. That was not a suggestion. He's telling you that's what you're doing. And I'm telling you that is what you're doing because I tested it. And eventually you'll be getting around to testing it yourself. And the quicker the better. I mean, why get more knocks and blocks in this world, as Neville said all the time? You get more knocks and blocks because you keep running all these old stories over in your mind, getting yourself all upset, and then your body's all upset because your body takes its marching orders from you, and when you're upset, it's upset. And when it's upset, you get all kinds of nonsense. But you created it all. That's a hard nut to crack open. you know that, that you're actually the fault of it all, but you're given it out. You're given an escape. It says to the Lord belongs escape, and he's with you. And if he's escaped, you're escaped, because the only way he can be escaped is that you escape. And you're given to escape. You're given to choose this day and choose an escape. Come on, you can choose better today than you chose yesterday. I mean, there's something you can improve a little bit on. Well, if you get a little bit each day and you're here, say a long time, you can get a lot done. Because look, there's nothing transforming in death. That one hit me pretty good. Nothing transforming. In other words, you die a ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong. And not only that, it could be lifetimes after lifetime, not lifetime, but time spots, check, whatever you call it, these little time slots. And believe me, it's like a woman having a baby. It's all, but as soon as it's out, she's all smile, holding her baby. See, and you're the same thing. When you die horribly until you wake up. And here I am, all renewed again, started all over again. But you see, the only thing is, yeah, you get a new body in there, but the attitudes, the assumptions, the moods, all of those go with you. See, so you right off, you can chop them up and deny them. But if you don't, see, then they'll be working their way in, setting up little dynasties in there, and then you wind up being a slave in your own dynasty. I mean, it happens to people all the time, but they don't see it, and it's right. But when you do see it, that's the great embarrassment, because it was right there out of your mouth. Every word you're told, right out of your own mouth, you're destroying yourself. I mean, these bodies were made to last a lot longer than this. So actually, we're all committing suicide. I mean, Oh, yeah, yeah, you can lie to yourself. I did that a long time, all kinds of lies to myself.